Welcome to the annual Beefy Boys Prime Cuts Awards. This is our end of the year award show of all of our favorite moments of 2023. Although, this is the start of 2024, we're going to be looking back on 2023. Some of our favorite moments. We've got a lot of the typical award categories that other shows have, but we also have a Beefy Boys exclusive category. Make sure to check that out. Chin of the Year. No other show talks about it. We're going to dive in here and looking forward to it. We got a new little format on this year's. We're going to try to come to a consensus. In past years, we've kind of each given out separate Prime Cuts awards. We're going to try to sell each other and debate a little bit and reach a show consensus for these awards. So looking forward to this new format this year.
Me too. I think there's a chance that some categories we might not be able to settle the debate. But I suppose we'll have to just find out. We haven't previously discussed any of these, really.
Yeah, and that's what I'm excited about. Neither of us know each other's picks, so live reactions, live debates coming to you next on these Prime Cuts Awards. Let's get to it. Welcome to the 2023 Beefy Boys Prime Cuts Awards. Looking back on our favorite moments of 2023. And you can't mention favorite moments without talking about your favorite event. Got event of the year up next. And as guys who, me and Harrison, we watched the early prelims, the prelims. We watched every single fight on every single card. It's going to hold thing here on Beefy Boys Breakdown. And then we talked about every single fight on every single card. And so, from opening fight to headliner, to win this category, at least by my criteria, fire prelims, fire main event, just fire top to bottom. And here's Harrison to read our nominees.
Yes, sir. So we picked 5 events here. I'll give you the UFC numbers, but then I'll go back and describe each one's headliner. Maybe if there's multiple belts, I'll give you each belt fight for sure. And then we can kind of dive in past that for our top 2 or 3 here. So UFC 283 is going to feature Glover Teixeira and Jamal Hill. I know that's going to be a favorite for Dominic here. We also have Davison Figueiredo and Brandon Moreno in their 19th fight. But that would be the ultimate time that Moreno moved Figueiredo up to bantamweight, got the doctor stoppage. Shout out to him. UFC 285, we have John Jones getting the heavyweight crown against Cyril Gane, Alexa Grasso dethroning Shevchenko, and Rachmanov taking on Jeff Neal, and as well as Bo Nickel making his debut.
That was his debut?
In the UFC, yes, yeah.
Wow, that's crazy, bro. Honestly, it feels like he's been here for a while. It really does. He's done a lot
the two DWCS fights as well. He didn't start striking training until August 2021.
It's crazy, bro.
It's amazing. Now, UFC 290, we have Volkanovski defending his featherweight belt against Yair Rodriguez. Pantoja dethroning Moreno in a split decision. Duplessis flatlining Whitaker. Dan Hooker and Jalen Turner in potential fight of the year. Yeah. And Bo Nickel beating Val Woodburn in an instant classic starching.
That's one way to play it.
That is, yeah. And then pushing forward to our 4th nominee, we have UFC, where is it here? 291, Poirier Gaethje 2. Gaethje getting the insane head kick knockout over Dustin Poirier. We have Alex Pereira, split decision victory against Jan Blachowicz to earn him the title shot for the 205 belt. Derek Lewis knocking the teeth out of Rogerio de Lima's face. Bobby Green arm triangle Tony Ferguson after just destroying him. And Kevin Holland submitting Michael Chiesa with a choke that Michael Chiesa said he would lose by, essentially, in interviews.
Yikes.
Yeah, yikes, big yikes. Final nominee, UFC 295, Yuri Prochazka, Alex Pereira. Obviously not my favorite, but shout out to Dominic for calling the Poeton elbows of stone. Aspinall dethroning Pavlovich. Shout out to me for that one. Jessica Andrade, Mackenzie Dern. Mackenzie Dern's disappointing. BSD, Benoit Saint Denis climbing the ranks against Matt Rivola, and Diego Lopez continuing the streak against Pat Sabatini. Now, I'll give it to you. What do you think what are the 2 or 3 we should talk about?
You know what? Just because of the way I kind of went about this one, I'll let you list our 3 finalists, and then I'll come over the top with my my winner.
Okay, fair enough. So I think I need to just remind myself of these undercards here real fast. Just
That matters. That matters a lot, especially for guys like us.
Right. I'm glancing over them real fast just to make sure I don't, cut out some instant classic. So it's like odd, right? Because 291 has such a great main card, but it lacked a good undercard, right? Whereas, if we're looking at like 290 has a pretty insane finish rate, great fights. So I think final three here, I'm going to go... Oh, man. Let's go. UFC 285 is going to make the cut.
Okay.
Because you also have one of the Boshrot bros. You have Ian Gary. You have the Power Bar. You have Duplessis. You have Cody Garbrandt. And those are no one on the main card. So 285 going to make the list.
Big year for Duplessis, man. Honestly,
huge year for Duplessis. And man, I hate to do it to you, but I think 283 lacks the depth versus the others.
Honestly, bro, like I'm not dying on the 283 hill, contrary to popular belief. I'm willing to let it go.
Fair enough. So that in consideration, I think. Oh man, I'm gonna say 291 makes the cut, and then I'll let you pick between any of the last.
I'm about to say 295 got to be in there, bro. 295 got to be in there.
Okay,
I'm dying on the hill.
Fair enough. And I think that makes sense. I think that makes Okay, so 285, 295, 291.
And honestly, I guess I'll let the count of the bag kind of already did. I mean, 295 is my winner, bro.
Really?
Pereira Prohaska, especially us too. Like you're a Prohaska guy. I'm a Pereira ball washer. Like it was really fun from that perspective. Like I feel like just like friendship wise, shows wise, like my guy versus your guy, that's gonna hold kind of a special place in my heart. The whole main card was knockouts. That hasn't really been factored in to the whole like introduction here in nominees. Whole main card knockouts and gas, right? Like if you're paying $80 for something, like bet. All the prelim winners. So I have a kind of like this is projection and this is kind of conjecture and hot takery, but like we all remember the infamous McGregor Holloway prelims fight, right? I believe they fought on the prelims way back when. It was either McGregor Holloway or it was McGregor Poirier, one of those two. Either way, I think this prelims has potential to fucking like kind of like 3, 4, 5 years from now look similar to some past prelims where like this aged really well. Do you mind reading off the prelims winners for me, please?
Yeah, of course. So you have Jamal Emmers, Joshua Van, John Castaneda, Jared Gordon, Sajikov and Slavic Laws went to a draw, so I'll say them both. Mateusz Rebeski, Lupi Godinez, and Steve Urseg.
Bro, like, I'm so high on Rebeski, like super, super, super high. Like, I think he's a guy. Urseg in that weight class is a guy, and I believe that was his debut. Van, super high on Joshua Van. That's like that's one for the hardcores. Like not many people know or care about Joshua Van, but I'm like just personally as a fan, pretty goddamn high on Joshua Van. So I don't know. I think those prelims are gonna age really well. Like I think like 2 years, 18 months from now, Rebeski could be like a top 10 guy, right? And like nobody would bat an eye. Shit like that I think factors into this. Just check all the boxes. The main event, kind of in a way a super fight. Prohaska, a champion that never lost his belt, taking on the 185 former champion who's an absolute freak show. Like super fight might be like a bold word I'm kind of throwing around a lot, but like,
well.
Super fight, that was like an interesting fight. Like that was a rare one.
I also think you could argue too. The hype of the card was earlier supposed to have Stipe and John Jones, so it was already being sold as supposedly going to be the best card of the year, but then they replaced it with what I thought is the true champion of the heavyweight division, if you're going to really ask me, Aspinall Pavlovich, and that fight was a banger for all 69.
I didn't even mention that. Didn't even mention that.
Yeah.
Didn't even mention that. Oh my God!
And
fumble on my part.
This is also the one where Saint Denis gets the head kick over Frivola.
Yes.
This is the one where
That's
Diego
a knockout
Lopez.
of the year.
Right.
Those are 2 knockout of the year nominees, like basically, or at least honorable mentions. You
have Andrade sitting down Dern 4 times in 12 minutes, and you have Diego Lopez knocking it out in 90 seconds, and he's a goddamn jiu-jitsu coach, to John Anik's point.
and I am a huge Diego Lopez guy. I don't know. That one does have some personal bias in there. There's a lot of fighters on that I personally fuck with. Like I said, even the Joshua Vins of the world. There was a lot of kind of, I guess you could call it personal bias, personal fanship, fanhood, whatever. That was a card almost if I built a card, that's almost what it would look like.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. And the all knockout TKOs, no subs, no decisions, all finishes,
all whole main card.
And actually, only 2 of them get to the second round. So there's no third rounds on this main card.
Yeah, so we're talking year, bro. I mean, that checks so many boxes.
Not to mention that we do have 3 more finishes on the prelims. And a split decision and a draw, so it's those are competitive fights as well. So, yeah, I actually, you know what? I'm gonna agree with you. UFC 295.
It sounds like you'll take it in red.
Yes, sir.
You'll take it in red. Oh, sold to the man in the red ball cap.
Yes, sir. That is about right. Because honestly, man, I wanted to say 285 because the Grasso upset and John Jones getting his second belt, but it just doesn't have the depth to compete.
I'm jaded against the Jones Gone win.
Well, anticlimactic,
I don't have that in my submission
ruined.
of the year. Yeah, I don't have that in my submission of the year. I don't have that in my fight. I don't have John Jones or Cyril Gane in no categories. That fight was a fumble. That fight was a fucking blue balls type of situation.
Well, that's the John Jones motif of this year, is just a blue ball us on fights.
Yeah, man. And then, not to mention, my card had the true heavyweight champ, Aspinall. You know what I'm saying?
Tommy Aspinall.
No, I like Tommy Aspinall, man. I was watching a Chill video the other day, and he put it real interesting. All right, you have one heavyweight champion that is 20s, willing and able, actively seeking competition. And you have another guy that never fights ever. Who is your heavyweight champion? Mine's Tommy Aspinall.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Yeah, me too, man. Me too. And I think having the true heavyweight champ and absolutely the true light heavyweight champ, you have the 2 strongest champions, weight wise. You know what I'm saying? They'll fight the rest of the roster and probably dominate. So, yeah, I take this for a Beefy Boys Prime Cut. Event of the year, UFC 295, not recency bias. Recency bias would be me saying you should like and subscribe this video and our channel.
Because it was so fire and you recently watched it. Like and subscribe. Thanks, everybody.